Oh, do I feel good today? What is up, universe? Welcome into your sports and sports betting brand of record. We call it Driving the Line. We are here live 6 days a week, on demand on Saturdays, which makes us the only daily sports betting show in America. Now, for those of you OGs that watch on our YouTube channel on the way in, make it a part of your day. Just hit that like button for us. It really helps the show grow. Now, you can also catch us every single weekday. The time has changed to 3 p.m. Eastern time on Stadium and all of the platforms, Amazon Prime, DirecTV, YouTube TV, etc. The list goes on and on. We are everywhere. Now, I scold you guys all the time as the chat's popping. Just when you think a game is not going to be great, it's only the Browns and the Broncos, you have one of the most entertaining games of all time. Now, how did we do last night? That is the question, because we are the most transparent show. Oh, look at this. Your boys, your leaders at the brand coming in strong. AB, 4-1. Your boy, 3-0. And I've got something I need to address here shortly, and I will deal with Raphael as well. But that's why we are a crew. Now, Howie Schwab would have loved this time of year. And you guys know, as long as I'm sitting in this seat, we're going to honor him every single day. So, you can vote in the chat. Here are your selections. Plenty of round ball tonight. Kentucky laying the 2. Clemson, +2. Ole Miss, +3. Louisville, -3. Get your votes in. We will reveal the options or the selection at the end of the show. Now, you guys know we have content absolutely everywhere. And all you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you get tons of content. There's a schedule right there. You also get video if you're a premium member of our DTL podcast, fresh every single day, 20 to 30 minutes, Monday through Friday. And we get a little bit deeper into the topics, and you get the video or the audio drops at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So all the housekeeping is done. Oh, and today's going to be a lot of fun. We are going 6 wide today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the picks. Oh, and look at this embarrassment of riches. My goodness. Most Tuesdays, everybody else is sleeping in. No, not my crew. Look at this. So where do I start? First and foremost, I got a little business I got to handle. So I'm going to come over and give a public thank you to the man who hosted the first show last night with me still on the show. And it was a highly rated, highly viewed live show. DG, good morning. How did you feel last night, sir?
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. I felt good. Unfortunately, I had a few flubs, we'll say. I might have forgot the pick screen or whatever it might have been, the prop it up segment. But, Coach, I felt good about it. It was a little weird seeing you on the other side, though, honestly. But we made it work.
We did make it work. Then, as the night progressed, and I'll get to the other 4 in a second, but I got to do this right here, right now. So, DG had, what was your guy's name for the gym? Valet?
Valet.
Yeah, Valet. So, I knew my night was not going to be mine. I knew it was not going to be mine because he catches the ball at the half-yard line. You would have had a third diamond.
Right.
And then I see my guy, McLaughlin, in the backfield. They hand it to him. I'm like, it's over. Your boy's got it. He goes down at the quarter-yard line, 8 inches, I measured. And then they bring in Javonte Williams, and he runs it in on third down. I was like, what the hell? The world's against me. But then, gentlemen, this is when you got to stay in it. Because later in the game, I had the Broncos -2.5. I had a showdown. And I don't even see the name in the chat right now. We'll see if he's there. Sports, you guys know what I'm talking about. And he sends me this tweet. Gentlemen, watch and learn. I get this last night as it is 34-32. Coach, only bet when you can afford to lose. Going head-to-head with the sports info king never ends in good vibes. My Venmo is this. Thank you, sir. So I said to myself, the only thing that could work here is a pick 6 because I needed -2.5. I need to win by 7. So, DG, what happened? A pick 6 by the Broncos, but it wasn't over there. No. They come down, and what do the Broncos do? Pass interference in the end zone. So now I'm like, I almost tweeted him back, but I held off. And young Peyton, this is for you. So then what happens? They call the flag. We got 1st and goal from the 2. They're down 9. Field goal, touchdown. Either way, I lose. And what does Jameis Winston do? Another interception in the end zone, and your boy snatches victory from the jaws of defeat. And I did handle my business with him privately. I didn't want him to feel bad, but that is how you dominate, Raphael. Dominate a showdown victory last night. As I lay it all out, give your boy some flowers. Good morning, my numbers guy. Give it to me. Let's go.
I'll give you props and flowers, but thanks for the recap. So we got to hit 2 X's on the game. I didn't need a recap of the game, but thank you for the reminder.
Oh, I didn't even remember that you had the 2 X's. My bad. Now, he was in the chat all last night giving you all kinds of information. And also, how fast was your first cash yesterday, Charles? Because I think it was like 8 minutes, 10 minutes.
Somewhere in there. It came pretty quick. We like to see those. Morning, Coach Crew. Congratulations on your night. Yeah, that was next level, shall I say. So, yeah, I would always wait before the game's over before you send any text. That way it doesn't get put on the show. Just a little friendly reminder. But, yeah, tons of opportunities today. Ready to get it going.
You're damn right. Never do that. And I don't want to call him out. He was quite the gentleman, and he is going to take care of business in the chat. And I told him I'd give him a chance, a little double or nothing, but you never tweet before the game is over. Young Peyton, I want to make sure that I get this right on your intro because I wrote it out today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show. He's back from his trip to L.A. where he apparently set the record for most fried rice ever eaten at Benihana over the Thanksgiving holiday. Is that true or is that not true, Young Peyton?
100% true, Coach. Mom didn't want any fried rice, put it all on my plate. I took it. I mean, the whole plate was just destroyed with fried rice. I mean, best night of my life right there. It was a parents' anniversary. It was a good weekend. Great Thanksgiving week. I had a nice time in LA, and last night was on the plane, got back in time to watch that amazing game. It was pretty awesome.
It was pretty awesome. Do you guys think that Young Peyton called me when he came home? I live in the LA area. We could have hung out. I could have gone to Benihana. No, nothing. Now, this man has been blowing my phone up. And I mean up because he knows today is the very first Super Salad official. Big Soupy, how you feeling today, big boy?
I'm feeling very good. I was wondering while he was at dinner with Benihana, were his parents scolding him about losing to me last week?
Wow. How did you feel about that loss last week, Young Peyton?
I don't know. I think I still had a good, what did I go, 2 and 3?
No. You do not deflect. No, in your with Soupy, you lost. You can't say, but I hit my picks otherwise. That's not how it works.
All right, well, hey, today's a new day. You know, you got to bounce back, and I'm feeling good. I'm, move forward. I'm not going to look back. I got good picks today. I'm feeling really nice about it.
All right, well, let's get into those. By the way, shout out to Beyond the Script, the nice little $5 super thing that we call it. It always helps. Put it back into the production of the show. Thank you guys very much. All right, Big Chuck, I'm starting with you today, big boy, because we got picks all over the board. Start us off. You got 3, and I love what I'm seeing. Let's go.
We have a EPL, Leicester City and West Ham. We have a little midweek action with 2 teams desperate for points in the standings. So making this both teams to score in over 2.5 goals a must play. That is actually cash in 7 of their last 9 affairs. La Liga, Mallorca, Barcelona. Barca, they should be in a bad mood after this past weekend. And I expect them to get on the scoreboard in both halves with the Barcelona to score in both halves, which is actually posted in 7 past 10 versus Mallorca. And lastly, Coppa Italia, AC Milan, Sassuolo, better rivals now in separate divisions. I'm going to go with the both teams to score that has also came in 7 of their last 9 meetings.
Boom, boom, and boom. I encourage you, don't get shut out because you're going to see a tweet around about 2:15 this afternoon. And what's it going to say? Cash, cash, cash. It's simply what Big Chuck does. It's simply what he does. All right, DG, I'm coming up to you. You got 2 plays tonight. 1 is with your hometown team. Talk to me.
Derek Lively was last year. Isaiah Hartenstein is this year. We're going to ride him for the double at minus 120. He's perfect on the season in all 5 games, and Utah is honestly a bottom tier matchup for him. And so we're going to go ride Isaiah Hartenstein here with the double-double. Then we're going to go to the flyby king, a.k.a. Honey Bun, Desmond Bain, 5+ rebounds at -135. He's done this in 11 of the last 12. But if you're looking at plus money at a +125, you can go with 6+ rebounds. He's done this in 10 of the last 12, but he's going back against Dallas Mavericks, where he played ball at their Peyton school, TCU, going back home. So we're going to ride Desmond Bain tonight.
I like both of those plays. Now, let's come over to our boy because he's getting shout-outs in the chat this morning. Brian checking in from econ class. Interesting. He says, hello, King Lettuce. So, King Lettuce, you're up. I see 2 big plays today, NBA Cup. Let's go.
Let's go. I got the Suns covering tonight. It was 6.5. It just changed to 7.5. I'm still going to take that. Beal's back tonight. And with the big 3 all in there playing, the Suns are one of the best teams in the league. I'll take them to cover against the Spurs in an NBA Cup game where a point differential matters. And I'm also going to go over to the ice with Vegas Golden Knights to win plus money, plus 110 at home. The Golden Knights are coming off a 6-0 loss against the Utah Hockey Club. What a fluke of a game, Coach. And, with their 3rd loss at home of the year, I don't think they're going to do that tonight. I think they're going to extend their home record to 10-3, which is a really nice record, and beat the Edmonton Oilers and snap Edmonton's 3-game winning streak. So I'm going with the Golden Knights tonight.
Just slap them off the ice. I love that, Peyton. NBA hockey, and coming up in about 22 minutes, he will go head-to-head with our man Soupy. Speaking of Soupy, let's come over to you, big boy, because I'm looking. I see 2 plays. Both are on the ice tonight. Give them to me.
I got my be smart, don't bet with your heart. I'm repping my Penguins, but I'm fading them today against the defending champs. Panthers have won 3 straight, outscoring their opponents 17-4. Penguins also won 3 straight, but they have faced Boston, Calgary, 2 bottom-tier offenses, and they are still 31st in goals allowed. So give me the Panthers 60-minute money line, meaning they have to win in regulation. And for me, the game of the night, it's Oilers and Golden Knights. Both are scoring 3 goals a game, but both are allowing 3 goals a game. The Oilers, they've covered this spread in 4 of their last 6, and the Oilers, they've scored over 4 goals in 6 of their last 10 games.
I feel like when Peyton's on, Soupy is just on. DG, do you feel that? I feel like he's on point.
Steps his game up a little bit. I think when your feet get a little hot, you kind of have to.
Change
Very
energy.
good point.
That's what it is.
What was that,
I
Soupy?
changed my energy drink.
What are we drinking now? We went from prime to what?
They don't pay us, so I ain't going to show it.
That's my man right there. All right, now finally, you got a full minute. Full minute, Raphael. You're up last. Let's go.
I never seen a guy fade his team but still have the Penguins shirt on. That's pretty weird. But we're going to college basketball. Utah Valley and Stanford over 142.5. I want the people know in the chat, what's the mascot of Utah Valley? I bet you no one really knows. But Utah Valley's last 6 games, all 6 of them have gone over. And Stanford's averaging 82 points a game at home. I'll take the over. And then give me Wemby tonight, over 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus the 3 nickels. Keep an eye on his assists. His last game, he had 11 assists. We know he's going to get his points. We know he's going to get his rebounds. But keep an eye on for assists. His assist is going to be the reason why we cashed this play tonight.
All right, very good. So we've got basketball. We have hockey. I see George in the chat. He says, I'm having withdrawals. There's no football picks. Hey, it's Tuesday. That's the way it goes. We focus on other things, but we'll have actually 2 full football segments coming up. Soupy, you're getting a lot of love. Let's see. Where is it? Phil says Soupy's killing it already. My favorite name, Lord Farquhar. I don't know why, but Soupy's beard looks on point today as well. Interesting, Soupy. Right now, you're the MVP. DG, go. 15 seconds.
Raphael didn't know. We know who Willie the Wolverine for Utah Valley State is. Come on, Raphael.
Well, I'm glad you did. I was just making sure people knew. Elliot knew in the chat as well.
I Googled it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you Googled that.
What the hell are we doing right now? What the hell are we doing? We're just getting started. It's a vibe on a Tuesday. I love this crew today, and we're just getting started. Don't go anywhere. All right, you degenerates out there watching on our YouTube channel. I see Ninja in the chat. And DG, he quotes Jameis Winston after the game last night. He threw for 6 touchdowns. Now, 2 of them were pick sixes, but he still threw for 6 touchdowns. And he said, I'm praying that I get forgiven from the pick. He did this whole religious thing about pick sixes. Is Jameis just the best?
I hope he never stops playing football because he's an instant meme machine, instant audio, whatever. I love every time he speaks because it's always random and it's always interesting. So I love Jameis.
Raphael, almost 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. He played great. He just threw 3 bad interceptions. That's all.
It was a great game. DG tried to throw the producer underneath the bus. He tried to throw Jesus and God underneath the bus with all those picks. I was totally blown away and confused at his press conference. But I love Jameis. He was here in New Orleans, met him a couple of times during some events. What a great dude. Night and day from college days to now. What a great guy.
He really is, Soupy. I mean, this guy, he's so entertaining, and he plays really good football, and it makes you wonder what they could have been without giving $200 million to Deshaun Watson.
I never understood why Jameis couldn't become a starter after Tampa Bay. That year, his last year in Tampa Bay, threw for 5,000 yards and 31 touchdowns. Yeah, the picks aren't good, but he can still make a game. He did that last night. He kept that team in. Yeah, he blew it in the last play, but still, I think he should be the starter next year on week 1.
Young Peyton, this guy's been great in fantasy, great on prize picks. Your thoughts on Jameis?
Yeah, some guys you have to start picking him up. I mean, the numbers last night were ridiculous. But when you throw 55 times, you're bound to make one bad decision. And it just came into a really bad point in the game last night. So it just ended up costing them the game. But I really did like Jameis Winston. And did you guys see his graphic when he was spinning the football and how fun he looked? He looked like he was having the best time.
He also gave Sean Payton a lot of love before the game. We forget that he played in New Orleans. So apparently Sean Payton's a big fan as well. So congratulations to Jameis. Didn't get the win, but played amazing. That was one of the most entertaining games I've ever watched in my life. We're back in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are DTL. If you're just finding us, welcome. We have so much fun every single day. I got the best damn crew in the business. By the way, we get so many soccer questions every single day. So Charles will be in the chat. If you have any questions for him on soccer, football, hockey, anything, put them in the chat. He will answer them for you in real time. Now, in the meantime, we got to look ahead. It's never too early, and now we're starting to talk about playoffs because we're into December. So, Raphael, I'm going to start with you. Let's take a look at the AFC standings before we get to the big games this week, because here's what it looks like right now. Thank you to Robert Bibbo, our resident benefactor. 5 more. You got to be watching live. So, Raphael, as we look at it now, really it's a 2-team race for the number 1 seed. And then as everything else plays out, it kind of looks like the playoffs could be set because there's 2 full games between the Colts and the Broncos. Your take on the standings?
I know everyone's going to say AFC is just 2 teams, Kansas City and Buffalo. But like I've said the last couple of weeks, and Zazo said, keep an eye on the Steelers. They are 9-3. When are we going to see that 9-3 is actually 9-3? They're playing really good football, and they are scoring. Yes, Buffalo, the flavor of the week. Kansas City, the flavor of the last 2 years. But these Steelers at the 3rd spot, they can actually creep up and maybe catch Buffalo if Buffalo slips up the next couple of weeks. I'm be more worried about Pittsburgh than KC and Buffalo.
DG, do you have faith in what Pittsburgh is doing?
I do. They actually get to go against the Cleveland Browns this week, and they owe them. And so I think that the Steelers are for real. Mainly it's the defense, right? Everybody kind of hangs their hat on that. But Russell Wilson is playing really good football at the very moment. And we saw that Cleveland Browns defense can kind of be picked apart. And so I'm expecting Wilson to have a really good week this week.
Shout out to 2-3 in the chat. He goes, Steelers are winning the Super Bowl. Peyton, your thoughts on that?
Well, DG took the words right out of my mouth. The Steelers defense looks awesome. Wilson's been playing great. But when I see this playoff picture, I'm just a little depressed about the Ravens being 8-5. They really should be 10-3, and they should be up there. But I'm not going to change the subject. But Justin Tucker has just destroyed them, and they put them down to number 6.
I don't know. It's kind of the equivalent of the yips in golf right now. The eyes. And I've seen it with golfers when I call an event that they don't know where the ball is going. Right now, Soupy, Justin Tucker, he doesn't know where the ball is going, and that's got to be the scariest feeling for a kicker who's a Super Bowl, some considered the greatest of all time. And now if you can't kick field goals, what do the Ravens do?
They have to rely on just scoring. They can score. And that's what's going to help them. They have Derrick Henry. They have Lamar Jackson. It is really weird to see because I've always thought of Justin Tucker maybe behind like an Adam Vinatieri as one of the greatest kickers of all time. It is so strange to see him this efficient. It's happened to a lot of kickers this year too. You're looking at some of the best kickers in the game. A lot of them are missing easy kicks. It's really strange to watch this year.
It really is, especially when teams are, for the Bengals, for example, they played in overtime to set up for a 50-yard plus field goal because, everybody's making 50-yard plus field goals. No, they're not. There's a lot of teams that are missing field goals. By the way, breaking news from the chat, Ninja, thank you very much. NFL is suspending Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair 3 games for the hit he delivered Sunday to Jags quarterback Trevor Lawrence. He has apologized on Instagram, said he never tried to do it. I have my own feelings on it, but the Texans are a playoff team. They're a first-place team. Does this do anything, DG, to their mindset that they'll miss this guy who's an emotional leader for this team?
I think they definitely do miss him. He is their middle linebacker. He's the guy that kind of he's the green dot on their defense. And so it will make a difference, but I don't think it makes that big of a difference. I know we're late into the season, but we're not all the way to the very end. And we're obviously not into the playoffs. I think they can hold strong enough to make it to the playoffs and not have this affect them too much.
All right, very good. By the way, look at the stat from Charles in the chat. Ravens have lost to 5 games by a total of 22 points. Tucker has missed 22 points worth of extra points and field goals. Wow. That never happens with him. I think it goes back to when he tried to mess with Mahomes and Kelsey pregame last year, and he got his hand handed to him.
Of course, it was that game that messed him up.
Let's flip it over to the NFC now. And this is where it gets really, really interesting because you look at the Lions there, but then you see the Vikings and the Packers, DG, and they are in the same division. So certainly they still have to play each other, but you got 3 teams at 6-6 because in the NFC South, first place is 6-6. So right now, how important, DG, is it to get that number 1 seed if you're Detroit or if you're Philadelphia?
It's super important. And honestly, they play this Thursday. And so Detroit holding on to that 1 spot with I call them the frauds, but they've been playing well, is the Eagles just sitting right there to take over any second they can. So Detroit playing well, being the leader in the pack. I think it's very important for them to win this week at home against Green Bay.
No doubt about it. Soupy, let me come over to you because the Lions continue. They're not dominating anymore. The team that's dominating is the Eagles, and I think they've surpassed them, and the odds are very, very similar at most books. Do you think the Eagles are the best team right now despite being the 2 seed because they have this long winning streak going?
The Eagles are absolutely the best team in the league right now. The defense is playing, I think, the best of any defense in the league. And then you have Saquon Barkley. I don't think now he's going to win the MVP. That game last week, not good enough when you saw what Josh Allen did this past Sunday. But the Eagles just can get you in the pass, the run, and the way they play defense. I think they will eventually surpass and get that number 1 seed.
I think so too, because Raphael, as you look at the schedule for the Eagles, they have Carolina in Philadelphia this week, so at home. Then they have Pittsburgh at home. Then they go to Washington. Then they're back home to Dallas and back home to the Giants. So 4 of their last 5 games, thank you, schedule makers, are at home for the Eagles, and those games aren't really tough at all. The toughest one is the Steelers. Your thoughts?
But the Lions' last game is against Skull. So that's going to be a huge, huge game for that one. I love the Eagles. I think they can win 3 out of those last 4 games. But I'm looking at this and I'm cussing in my head. Why are the number 4 seed, a 6-6 team, the Atlanta Falcons? The NFC South should get 0 teams in the playoffs. That's all I'm looking at right now, and I'm angry.
Is anybody else now thinking about Raphael cussing in his head, or is it just me?
What word is it?
No.
Yeah, what word are you saying in your head?
This is a PG show. PG. It's early in the morning.
By the way, Beyond the Script says Commanders urged to bring the Redskins logo back, and I haven't heard anybody say not to. I think that's going to happen. I really do. Seabass, member of the crew, if you don't know. He lives in that metro area. He says everybody there is already gone back to referring to them as that instead of the Commanders. So we'll see. Young Peyton, let me come over to you because it kind of feels like it's a two-team race, and then everybody else. I don't know that I've ever seen standings that look like this where a 10-2 team is all the way down in a wild card spot.
Yeah, the Vikings are a really good team, though, too, Coach. Last week, they had kind of a tricky game against Arizona, but them coming back and winning, I think they kind of proved themselves. And I know it is just the 6-6 Cardinals, but they look like a good team, too. But with the Lions and Eagles, I do think the Eagles are the best team in the league right now. Just with it's hard to stop a team who has such a good run game that the Eagles do. I mean, they just give it to Saquon, and it's plus 5 yards or 5+ yards every time. And their defense has been holding down everybody. And I don't see the Lions finishing up, 11 or having a 1-loss season. I also think the Eagles have a lot less to go through with the remaining of their schedule.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the Lions, you look at it at home this Thursday to Green Bay. They're playing back-to-back Thursdays. Both teams are. And then they have Buffalo in Detroit. Then they go to Chicago, not a walkover, to San Francisco, see what they are at that point. And then they close January 5th at home against Minnesota. So Detroit, they're going to have to play this thing. They're going to have to play it out, and we'll see what happens. Let's spin it forward now to some of the key games that we have this week on the schedule. And the NFC West, DG, is just a mess right now. Everybody is basically 500. Nobody can figure out what they're doing. But the Cardinals had things in order, and now they can't seem to score, and they lose last second against the Vikings. Should that be 3 against the Seahawks?
When I saw this line, I was kind of confused. I didn't think it would be that big. I thought it'd be 1.5, maybe 2, maybe 2.5 at the most. But that 3 is a key number, especially for a Seattle team that's won 3 in a row, Arizona that's lost 2 in a row. And so I guess Arizona coming home and having the home field advantage there is the reason that we get that line. But I like Seattle here. Even though they're going on the road, I still like Seattle here in this game.
It feels like the Seahawks are the one team, Soupy, that they're starting to get things going. They're playing well. They're having big wins at home. And if Geno can just play smart, I think they are the team to beat in the NFC West. And right now, they have a 1-game lead at 7-5.
And you got to look at how they're winning. With that game against San Francisco, it was that Geno Smith run at the end of the game that won it. Same thing against the Jets. They had that last-minute drive that won it. So they are facing the adversity and winning these tight games. I just don't like sometimes the discipline of Arizona. They make mistakes. Kyler Murray's making a lot of mistakes. And I think this should be a 2.5, 2. I think it might go down later in the week. So I would take that Seattle +3 right now.
Raphael, do you agree? You think that number goes down to 2.5?
Yes, the reason why they opened up 3 because they figured the public was going to take Seattle money line. So get all the Seattle money now on the money line, not the +3. Drop it to 2.5 like Vegas has already done. Probably about by -2, maybe -120 on the juice by kickoff. And then you can get the Arizona money back when you have a -2 because then you can get Arizona money line at 2 instead of 2.5 or 3. So there's a sharp move to get all that Seahawk money line action now and then move the number throughout the week.
And quickly, that second game, young Peyton, the Bills, they're going to a race. This could be a trap spot, and they can't afford to lose any if they want to have that number 1 seed. All they have to do is catch the Chiefs. They don't have to pass the Chiefs. So this, to me, is a big game for them, and they're laying 4. That number is kind of like a blinking light to me.
Yeah, I like in this game. I like both teams scoring a lot, so I can easily see 50 points being scored, and I would take the Rams to cover here because Kyron Williams looked great on Sunday, and the better he looks, the more open Puka and Cooper Kupp are going to be with, for big plays for the Rams. So I think it's going to be a lot closer of a game than people think. I'm gonna take the Rams here.
All right, we'll get into that Sunday night game a little bit later on the show, the Chargers and the Chiefs, a big one at Arrowhead as well. All right, we are about halfway through. The live number's amazing on a Tuesday. This is kind of the day that normally people sleep in or they say, man, I need a break. I can't do 7 days a week. Hey, we feel like that too, but we grind through. And on the other side, for the very first time, you guys don't want to miss this. You guys don't want to miss this. They've been talking trash privately all week. It's become ugly. It's at a fever pitch. And it's time to get down and dirty. On the other side, the first edition of Soup or Salad. It's DTL. It's a vibe. It's a Tuesday. All right, you degenerates that stay on our YouTube page all the way throughout the show. We can't thank you enough. As we continue on past the bottom of the hour, DG, a lot of college football news. We're going to get into that in a second. But FAU has hired a young coach. I had to write it down. Zach Kitley, 33 years old. He'll be the youngest coach in Division I. But it's the guy that got fired that is making headlines. And Tom Herman, you talk about a fall from grace. He was head coach at Houston, at Texas, and now he can't even win at FAU. You're our college guy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Herman's fall has been incredible because obviously he was the talk of the town, right? And coming into Texas, and now you're going into FAU where honestly everybody's kind of won and he couldn't. And maybe it goes to show that maybe the NIL isn't for him, and so he might have to look at where he goes and coaches. It might be the NFL. If he can still be an X's and O's guy, he might have to look at the NFL. It's
gotten other coaches like Nick Saban to bounce. Raphael just has.
Yeah, I mean, and he's losing the transfer portal. They're going to FIU instead of FAU, so he's losing some of those people. So he's losing the state of Florida, and I think that's probably the main reason between NIL and missing those guys to the smaller school right next door to him.
Now, for you other two, I know you guys are laser focused in the chat. Abe says, "I'll have the soup du jour, Coach." Do we get breadsticks with that? Kevin says. So we're going to get all of those, but we've got about a minute. Soupy, how confident do you feel today? Because we have you graphically and musically supported.
I feel 100%. I just looked over my picks again, and I'm just seeing check mark after check mark.
Young Soupy, when you come off big meals, you had a good Thanksgiving meal and Benihana. Do you feel like you're fresh today? That you didn't gain any weight, anything like that?
Well, I gained some weight, but I mean, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. I don't even have to go back and look at my picks. I'm gonna look at them when our producer checks them back or throws them on the screen. I'll just check them out there. Hit, yes,
so disrespectful of when the producer throws them on the screen. He's the most important person at the crew. Period. Sorry, producer man. I would never do that to you. Never. We're back in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back. We have crossed the bottom of the hour. It is 10:32 in the East, 7:32 in the West, or if you're watching us on demand, we welcome you as well. And remember, we also are on Stadium every single day at 3 p.m. Eastern time on all the platforms. So you can see us all day long. You do not want to get shut out. Now, during the break, we had a little trash talk. And you guys know I've been pumping this up for weeks. And with Soupy's ego getting completely out of control, I had to go out and find somebody that I could put head up against him, face to face, every single week. Because once Soupy started working for Prize Picks, it was out the window. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, and you guys are going to participate in the chat, I need to know who you support. Who are you voting for to hit their plays? Will it be Soupy or will it be Young Peyton, or as we like to call him, King Lettuce? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Soup or Salad. Like I'm down in young Charles's neighborhood. That feels like a New Orleans Saints song. So, since the Soupy is on the top, and you won last week, that's how we're going to play it. Whoever wins the week before gets to go first. Maybe talk a little trash, but you can do whatever you want to do. Soupy, you're up.
I'm starting with Darius Garland. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the best offense in the league, and Garland is important because he's scoring 20 points and averaging 9 assists. He's going against the Wizards, who have allowed the second most points and the fourth most assists to the point guard position, and we'll stick with that game. Jordan Poole, the Cavs, they're actually 27th in three-pointers allowed. I think Washington is going to be playing behind a lot. They're going to need to shoot a lot. That's why give me Poole over more than 4.5 threes. And Karl Anthony Towns, a great trade for the Knicks, averaging 25 points, 13 rebounds. They're playing Orlando. Orlando's a good defense. They've won 5 straight, but it's against Detroit, Brooklyn, and Chicago. I think it's going to be a big wake-up call. Give me Karl Anthony Towns more than 35.5 points and rebounds.
You are doing really well there until the last 5 or 10 seconds. I might have to dock you a little bit. I feel like they're playing favorites in the chat right now, guys, because we have votes coming in before young Peyton is even gone. Texas Joel says, I'm Team Soupy. Joe says that song is at a 100 level, so he's voting for the song, nobody else. Big Cheesy says he'll take King Lettuce at plus 110 all day. That's just some of the reactions. Soupy, solid on your 3 plays. Young Peyton, King Lettuce, you're up.
All right, first I'm going with Cade Cunningham, more than 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined. The Bucks allow 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists a game to point guards. And going against a triple-double threat in Cade Cunningham, I like our chances with him getting 38 points, rebounds, and assists combined here. Jalen Brunson, more than 23.5 points. This is a really low number for JB, and I know that they have Cat to score the ball for them too. But Jalen Brunson at home on TNT at 23.5, take it while you can, guys. Next pick, my demon pick is Bradley Beal, more than 19.5 points. The Spurs allow 22 points a game to shooting guards. He's hit this 19.5 in 3 out of his last 5 games. This is a low number for a demon pick on Bradley Beal. So I'll roll with this tonight as my 3rd pick.
I feel like you kind of lost a little bit of breath there at the end. Were you struggling a little bit?
Yeah, I did. But it wasn't because I was scared. I mean, these are some great picks here.
Did I say you were scared? Why are you putting words in my mouth? Did I say you were scared?
I knew it was coming.
Wow. On that note, Kevin would love to have a trash talk competition between Soupy and Salad. Interesting. We have some other comments. Big Cheesy. Why do all Gen Z boys wear their hair like that, Peyton? You don't need to answer that because Liddy already did for you. Simply says, chicks, Cheesy.
Thanks, Liddy. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you, Liddy. All right, let's bring the boys back in. We need the chat to vote. Do you like King Lettuce's picks or Soupy's picks? DG, let me bring you back in right now. I know you were taking some notes during that segment. Where do you fall? Where are you leaning?
I like King Lettuce's pick. The only thing that worries me is Cunningham has been out with a pelvic strain. He's not on the injury report. I know it's a cup game. I don't know if they even have a chance to get in, but it worries me with his pelvic strain coming back and having that big number. But he could be healthy and he just goes off for like 40 plus PRA.
I feel like you just like saying pelvic strain. That's I feel like it just feels like you like saying it. You never want to have a pelvic strain ever in life. Raphael, you're my numbers guy. We just saw 6 plays. We saw a demon. I don't think we saw a goblin. I got to really educate myself on these so I don't say something wrong because there's a certain language. Raphael, your thoughts? King Lettuce or Soupy?
Soupy's will open up as $1.40, and Cunningham is the main reason why I did that. He's not 100%, and I think the Bucks can probably blow out the Pistons, so that means Cunningham could be sitting on the bench a lot if it's a blowout game. He's now minus 150. Tons of money coming in on Soupy right now. I had to change the limits. Now it's a max game, so Soupy now minus 150.
Wow, Soupy, you are minus 150. That's a live line on your prize picks today. Abe says, if I had prize picks in New York, I'd play them both. Little Al says, trust the beard. Jason says, pelvic strain. Do you want to do the work?
That's a good one.
That wins. That wins today. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. By the way, let's all welcome in. Yes, DG, go.
Yeah, real quick, I was going to ask because I'm not big on prize picks and doing that because, you know, obviously it's legal to bet here, so I usually do it that way. But my thoughts is I know you're giving out 3, and usually when I've ever played prize picks, you have to hit all 3 to win a bet, but also you can hit 2 of 3. So, Soupy, if you don't mind, if I'll go to you first since you're the OG here, what is your thoughts on playing all 3 or maybe kind of doing a flex play where you have 2 of 3?
What I say that these are my best suggestions. You can always take them or leave them. If you don't want to play them, that's fine. And if you have other picks, you can take them. So with prize picks, you can have a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 6 in your lineup. And again, when you, depending on how you finish is how much you can win.
King Lettuce, your thoughts on that question from DG?
Yeah, I like going with a 3-pick. When you play all 3 picks and don't flex it, it's called a power play. So I like going with a power play with 3 max. Really, if I go 4 or 5, I like to flex it. I think it automatically flexes 5 or 6, Soupy, if that's right.
Yeah.
So at 2, I usually do 2 or 3 pick power plays, and then 4 or 5 or 6, I usually do a flex play.
Cool.
This is why you got to have experts. This is why it's great to have a guy who makes the lines. You have a guy who actually works for Prize Picks. To have a guy with great hair. I mean, it's you got everybody on the show. Everybody on the show. Gentlemen, well done. Well done. I just got a text from the bosses at Prize Picks. They love it. They love it. They said, we want more goblins. I don't even know what that means. We want more goblins. All right. Wayne says, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I got to run with Team Soupy here. Soupy, I feel like there's more people on your side than the Lettuce King right now. Do you feel that?
I feel it, and I feel you, Crew, because I love you, Crew. You know, you got to stick with the OJ.
Got to stick with the OG. Peyton, you're going to have to swim upstream, big boy. You're going to have to swim upstream. You know what I mean?
I absolutely love being the underdog today, Coach. I love my picks. Feeling good.
So funny you should mention the word underdog, because until yesterday, Alabama was an underdog. But now all of the odds have flipped, DG, and now Alabama is one of the favorites to get one of those at-large berths for the college football playoffs, which comes out tonight. Are you surprised that Alabama, with so many losses, would be favored over some other teams?
Surprised? Coach, nobody should be surprised with this. It's the Alabama. Roll Tide. Who cares? I'm over Alabama. They're not as good as they once were. I'm excited to maybe see the last year or two going forward. I don't think they're going to be dominant anymore, and we're going to kind of see them kind of just whisked away into the smoke that used to be Nick Saban. So, yes, I believe they're going to get in somehow, some way.
Is it a favoritism, Raphael? Because I know how much you love talking about the SEC.
Well, the SEC is the best football on TV. It's better than sliced bread. I love it. But yes, they are overrated. They're minus $3 again at the playoffs. SMU minus 225. They got crushed. Alabama's hopes, I thought, got crushed because Vanderbilt lost again last week. So that's another team that has 6 losses that Alabama has played and lost to. Right now, experts are saying they're not in. They're the last team out in college football playoffs. And 2 of the experts that did the polls last year hit the exact rankings of before the rankings came out on Tuesday. So I'm going to go with those 2 experts that were perfect on their bracket. They're going to be perfect again, and Alabama's out.
So you would not lay the 225?
I wouldn't lay minus $3 on Bama. I would lay SMU because they have SMU in right now.
My fault. I had those numbers mixed up. Thank you very much. Soupy, based off of what Raphael just said, are you going to stay away from the Alabama Crimson Tide if you are a bettor that likes to bet on those sorts of things?
I would sprinkle Alabama. It's going to depend on the SEC championship. If Georgia dominates Texas again, then Alabama could say, well, we beat Georgia, and now Georgia is the SEC champion. Why can't you put us in? I think that game is going to determine whether or not Alabama is a fringe at large bid.
That's a great take. I mean, it's young Peyton, a situation exactly what we wanted, that the last 3 or 4 weeks have mattered. But now this week still matters, and maybe not necessarily for all the teams playing in the games, but teams like Alabama that are watching at home, and I love that.
Yeah, and I think SMU is awesome, and they have a really good shot at getting in. I would not take Alabama to get in. I do think that, given all the years of college football, this is the best year to have 12 teams make the playoff, just because everyone's beating everybody, and it's really an awesome season, and it's an awesome year to watch what's going on. What's going on.
Raphael, go.
Experts are saying keep an eye out for the Big 12 championship. If Alabama gets in, not the SEC championship, it's going to be the Big 12 championship.
And I do want to remind people, because I was confused on this until Z-Man educated me. It's the top 5 conference champions. It's not the Power 4 automatics. It's the top 5 ranked conference champions, which is why there was the discussion that maybe a couple weeks ago the Big 12 wouldn't even get a team in. But now Raphael's team, Tulane, has bounced off and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting. Tonight, the rankings come out at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Full recap tomorrow on Rant Wednesday. What a good show today. We continue on as DTL and it's a vibe. All right, you degenerates out there continuing to watch on our YouTube page as we get through the morning. DG, let me come over to you because the 49ers announced yesterday, and this is big-time news, and I'll give Big Cheesy credit for coming into the chat today because their season is over. CMC and his backup Mason on the IR, which means they got to miss at least 4 games, and they're already in last place anyway. Has the 49ers window completely now shut?
You hear that? It's closed. It's over. The 49ers, they're done. Put them away. Stick a fork in them. But I would do for Soupy, if you're looking for playing any daily fantasy or fantasy overall, pick up that extra running back from San Francisco. I think his last name is Guerrero or whatever that is. Soupy can help us out with that. I would go pick him up. He's going to be the guy that's going to be handed the football a lot for them.
Soupy?
Isaac Guerrero, I believe is his name. I've already put some waiver claims in on him.
Me too.
Raphael, do you even have one fantasy team?
Have never played not one fantasy sport ever.
Our resident curmudgeon. Young Peyton, do you agree with Soupy? Are you playing the waiver wires?
Coach, I'm not deep enough into my fantasy team this season to be playing waiver wires. I'm done. I'm so done. It's been a terrible year. I had Rashee Rice. He was gone. McCaffrey. It's just been a terrible season.
Oh, my God. Raphael, go.
And the sad part, I read about Trent Williams and his stillborn baby that died for the 49ers. That was devastating reading that. It's just the bad luck the 49ers have had all season long with player injuries. That's what a horrible story. So my thoughts and prayers go out to the Williams family. That was heart-wrenching reading that story today.
Well said. Well said. That was awful. Absolutely awful. We'll see how, hopefully the whole team rallies around him, but my goodness, I can't even imagine that. All right, we are just about done with our last break. Thank you to all of you. The live number today, I feel like I'm saying it every single day because more and more of you come in, spend your mornings with us. It means the world to us, and we're really well ahead of where we thought we were going to be at this time when we started 9 months ago. All right, we're back in 5 seconds. It's time to educate and entertain here on the show, and don't worry about it. In about 4 minutes, we will recap all of the picks that we had for those of you that were not here at the top of the show at 10 a.m. Eastern time. DG, let me come over to you. Our first topic, and I haven't talked about him in a couple of weeks, so I'm allowed today. And it's LeBron James. 1,800 games. That's how many games he's played after last night. But now J.J. Redick and the Lakers are kind of changing their tune a little bit because he wanted to play all 82 games. No rest for him this year. But he's in the worst shooting slump of his career since the year. Last night, 4 of 16. 0 for 4 on threes. He's 0 for 19 in his last 4 games from three-point land. Should they rest the king?
I saw those numbers and I thought it was Bronny James, but no, it's LeBron James. They need to give him a little bit of rest. He's been playing big minutes. I believe he's at 30 plus for the season on average. So I think they need to give him a few games off, but I wouldn't alter his minutes production as much and get him to 28, 26. I think this team has to have them. So if he's playing, I think he needs to be at the 30 minutes. Unfortunately, they're going to need all him to play when he's on the court.
Young Peyton, they got to have this guy, him and AD. That's why they're even inside the top 8 right now. But do they need to periodically give LeBron just a night off?
Yeah, I think so too. And also they need to, let someone else bring the ball up the court. He's so, ball heavy, ball demanding, and he's always bringing it up. And it doesn't look like a lot when he's just jogging up the court, but that does play a toll on, someone's fatigue, and he's got to dish the ball, try to make the right decisions. He should start in the corner much or more and start coming off some off-ball screens to get it. Just something different for the Lakers and some kind of different movement.
I'm so glad you said that. When I would go through a little bit of a slump during my almost 2,000-point college career, I would start to move around, and I want to get in the flow. And Soupy, right now, all the Lakers are doing is flowing downwards. They are 12-9, and they have dropped to the 8th spot in the West. But I feel like we need to defend LeBron a little bit because we're making not fun, but criticizing Joel Embiid, all these other guys for injury management, and he's trying to play all 82 games.
You got to give him big credit for wanting to play all 82 games, but you're 40 years old. Kudos to you for playing all these games. But yeah, maybe minimize the minutes, take off the back-to-back. This is what happens when you don't build around the roster. They have one of the lowest bench points per game in the league. And now you're seeing why AD and LeBron have to play all these minutes, because when that second unit comes in, they're at the minus.
And that's what we said in the offseason when LeBron took over $50 million a year. DG, go.
I was just going to say exactly what you said. That's LeBron's fault. I don't want to blame anybody else. LeBron's fault. If he's the one that got greedy and didn't have anybody else get paid, that's LeBron's fault. This is happening to him, and they're only going to go down the rest of the season.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it, especially when his son was coming into the league, and he wanted to put a championship team around him and his son. It's been an absolute disaster in Los Angeles right now with the whole Bronny situation, the whole LeBron situation. And so now AD and him, they've got to play better, and they got to be bigger all season long. All right, we had another topic. We're not going to get into it today. Maybe we'll talk about it in the podcast. Don't forget, if you're a premium member, and Sports Info King is here, and he's got memberships to buy. I'm kidding. But you get fresh audio, fresh video every single day. It's about 20 or 30 minutes we record after the show, so don't be shut out there. Now, many of you were not here at the top of the show. It's okay. We got you covered in a little something we like to call the whip around. Joe says, I'm going to load manage at work. Think my boss will go for that? No. All right, DG, coming over to you. 2 plays. Let's go.
Isaiah Hartenstein, double-double. He's perfect on this season going against that Utah team that gives up a lot to the center. Then we're going to go with Desmond Bane. 5+ rebounds, 6+ rebounds. It doesn't matter. Desmond Bane is going back to the TCU territory tonight, getting for 5 or 6 rebounds here.
I will give Charles's picks out. Leicester City, West Ham. Let's go. Both teams scored over 2.5. This is one bet. You go all the way to the bottom of the game, and you'll find it down there. Barcelona scoring both halves. That's plus money. Love that. And then AC Milan, Sassuolo in Serie. Both teams to score. Love that play, minus 115. Soupy, you're up.
Panthers 5th in goals scored per game. Penguins 31st in goals allowed. Give me the Panthers, the 60-minute money line. And Vegas, Edmonton, both scoring 3, both allowing 3. Give me the over 6.5.
Love the energy. Young Peyton, you're up.
Let's go, Coach. I'm going the Suns in the NBA Cup tonight to cover against the Spurs. This number's 7.5 now at minus 108. With Beal playing the big 3, I'll take them to cover against the Spurs in an NBA Cup game where point differential matters tonight. I'm also going to go on the ice with the Golden Knights. Money line plus 110. They have a nice 9-3 home record, and I think they'll make that 10-3 tonight against the Oilers, snapping Edmonton's 3-game win streak.
My apologies. I did not mean to ruin your flow. Raphael.
Keep an eye out for the goalies on that Vegas night game. It should be out in about a couple hours. But we're going to go to college basketball. The Utah Valley Wolverines and Stanford Cardinals over 142.5. Utah Valley's last 6 games, all 6 of them have gone over, and Stanford averaging 82 points a game at home. And then give me Wemby over 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists, laying the 3 nickels. Hit this prop 7 out of 8. Shop around because a couple books have this number at 40.5. DraftKings has 39.5, so make sure you get the best number.
Boom and boom. And my apologies. Those are Serie A teams, but today is the Coppa Italia. Thank you to Charles in the chat. You guys have been amazing. That's why we put him in there. That's why we put a crew member in there. It really helps the show live, and we want all of you here to watch us live. Now, our apologies because the poll did not work today. YouTube having some glitches. What would Howie have said if his poll wouldn't have worked? It's an F day. Coach, today's an F day. Oh, man, I hear that sometimes, and I miss it so damn very much. All right, we end every single show with Raphael's stat of the day that most times will lead to a cash ticket somewhere. Raphael, what do we got today?
Well, I had a glitch last night in my emails. That's yesterday's stats, so that one would have lost. So I'm glad on that one, but I could not send one because my email was down until 5 a.m. this morning.
What time does the show start?
I was playing catch up. I had a lot of emails for 7 hours that was down. A lot of emails to come through. It was getting yelled at because I could P Diddy to be pardoned. The bosses were mad.
Those are odds we never want to talk about for sure. By the way, Liddy, shout out to him. I got to figure out what do we call that when they give us a tip or something like that. I'm not in the world of Twitch. What do we call that? I don't want to
super sticker, I believe.
Super sticker. Liddy, thank you for the super sticker. Yeah, it really helps. We put it back into the production of the show. He also said Kobe Bryant would never miss a game unless he had a broken leg. He wouldn't have, would he? Would Kobe have ever? I mean, can you imagine going up to Kobe or Michael and saying, "Hey guys, we need you to sit out tonight"? Why is that, Coach? We just think that it would be a good idea for your long-term success. Can you imagine how that conversation would have gone? DG,
no,
you're an NBA guy.
There's no way that you're going to see them take a game off. And honestly, I know a lot of their, I guess their game was of Jordan, is the dunking, but they played under the rim a little bit more than these guys these days. And so maybe they could kind of hone in their bodies and stay healthier. But man, there's no way you could ever see Kobe and MJ just taking off nights as much as these other guys are doing.
I agree. Rob says, I love watching the show live. Still watch replay if I can't catch it live, though. Big Cheesy. He must be disappointed. He goes, Rafi stat of the day is my favorite segment. Raphael, you're letting people down.
It's going to be on X. It's going to be on X soon, and I'll make sure I'll tag Driving the Line and everybody else.
10 seconds, Soupy. How do you feel about Prize Picks?
As usual, I feel good. Hey, Peyton, maybe you need a haircut. Go back to Beverly Hills and have your dad get you a haircut.
Oh, that's awful. Peyton, go.
Coach, I love my picks. I'm so I got nothing else to say. 3 for 3 today. Let's go.
Oh my God. Oh my God. There's only one thing left to do. You guys all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire crew, love them all. My man, Big Chuck from the Dirty Dirty. My numbers guy, Raphael. Best beer in the game, Soupy. King Lettuce. DG from Memphis. And producer man, I am simply the coach. Trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about every single day. Right here. The only show. Abe, let's get that to 20,000. Driving the Line. Good luck.